Demanding answers. Police say Wayne Green caused the accident that killed one-year-old Jeremiah Perry. And now there is growing anger about why he was released from the hospital just before he was to be charged in the death. WJZ investigator Mike Hellgren is live at City Police headquarters with those unanswered questions. Mike?
Denise, the victim's family is questioning why a man police considered so dangerous was not being monitored. They say someone has to be held accountable. Baltimore City Police say it's not their fault. They now just want to find the guy. Wayne Anthony Green Jr. walked right out of shock trauma just hours after police say he caused a crash in Baltimore City that killed a 16-month-old Jeremiah Perry. He was fleeing police at the time after hitting an officer in Baltimore County and driving on a revoked license. The family of the dead infant is demanding answers and accountability.
I'm very outraged because they should have somebody should have been there guarding him at all times.
The case raises questions about whether Baltimore City and county officials and whether police and prosecutors were communicating properly. City police say they had no grounds to detain Green and were waiting for charges from the state's attorney's office, which is customary in complex cases like this. Police rejected criticism someone should have been guarding Green. In a statement, the state's attorney's office says they worked quickly and closely with police.
We didn't know charges were going to be granted in the afternoon, and we don't have, the Baltimore police didn't have a right to detain Green any longer than we could at that point in time.
Police listed Green's last address as here on Mayfield Avenue in Northeast Baltimore, not far from Bel Air Road. No one answered the door.
That's just like, you know, them releasing a murderer from jail. He does have to answer for his wrongdoings.
Sources tell WJZ a Baltimore County officer initially accompanied Green to the hospital and was later relieved by a city officer. And if the county had charged Green in the initial hit and run, that would have been enough to detain him.
If we know he did another incident in another jurisdiction, why didn't that jurisdiction place charges for what happened?
And this is a man with a lengthy criminal record who pleaded guilty 14 years ago to homicide by motor vehicle and driving drunk. WJZ also checked with shock trauma. Their policy is if someone is not in police custody and is medically able to be discharged, they have no reason to detain them. Denise?
All right, thank you very much, Mike. And once again, police are looking for 38-year-old Wayne Green Jr. If you have information about his whereabouts, you are asked to contact police.